Aston Villa's young stars are on the coattails of the Big Four in the Premier League. And their European adventure is going pretty well too. Last time out on 5, we saw Martin O'Neill's side put Ajax to the sword at Villa Park.
It's Larson who's made the breakthrough. It's come to Barry. And what a European season it could turn out to be for Aston Villa.
Villa have now gone east to picturesque Prague, the latest setting for their European tour. But Slavia Prague, their Group F opponents tonight, are literally brand new. In this new stadium, they've won 7 out of 7. They're unbeaten since August, and they top the Czech League. This is Aston Villa's toughest test yet. And this man, Vladimir Smicer, will be out to dent Villa's chances of victory. A win tonight for the Midland side, it'll mean 1 foot in the knockout stages. Hello everybody, and a special warm welcome to those Villa fans joining us tonight from their armchair. Well, here on 5 we're not in the business of hyperbole. We mean it when we said it's going to be a challenge tonight, and more so, Stan Collymore, a real test of the squad.
Absolutely. Villa struggled a little bit in the second half against Newcastle on Monday night. The players have played pretty much all the way through the season. He's kept a small squad, small playing staff. I think tonight he'll use people like Salifu, may well come in, Sidwell of course, and they're good players, so Martin well within his rights to use his squad. Well,
we'll find out from the gaffer in just a few seconds exactly what that starting lineup is going to be and who he's brought in. But I think maybe we are guilty of underestimating this group. This is the toughest group in the stage.
Absolutely. You've got Hamburg, of course, that have dropped off a little bit in the Bundesliga. Slavia Prague and Ajax, like Martin O'Neill said earlier in the week, they still will be there and thereabouts. Still a very tough group.
It was such a big night, Stan, beating Ajax, and we were all caught up in it, but it's fair enough to say this is a harder game.
It is. The 2 away games, they've got Hamburg to come away, Zelina at home. They'll want to get a point at least.
Well, Martin O'Neill talked at length this week about how, as a player and now as a manager, he loves away trips in Europe. He thrives on them. So let's find out how he's finding Prague. He's with Dave Beckett.
Martin, a much changed team tonight. What's the thinking behind the changes?
Well, it's to freshen things up. It's just to some players have been crying out for games. It's an opportunity tonight. That's not to say that we're taking this game lightly. Far from it. They're a top-class side. Probably should be playing Champions League, and it's just going to be a difficult evening for us. You know, a full house here tonight. But even so, it's up for ones. At least, even if they didn't last the full 90 minutes, some of the players who are coming in should be really fresh.
How difficult is it striking that balance in your mind? It must be one of the harder team selections.
I think it's the most difficult thing of all, and you're trying to prepare at the same time to. You obviously always have a mind on the Premiership, and we've got a big game on Sunday coming up. But even so, it's something here tonight that's something that we wanted to be involved in. So then you don't really want to throw it into the air. We've got off to a good start. We've got 3 points on the board. But this will be an exceptionally difficult evening for us.
Has that excellent performance against Ajax marked you out as the team to beat in this group?
I don't think so. I don't think that at all. I think that we probably haven't seen the last of Ajax themselves. And Hamburg, a couple of weeks ago, were leading the Bundesliga. I know that they've dropped a couple of places since then. And Slavia Prague are leading their own league here. And I just think they're a fine side. So they fancy themselves quite strongly tonight. And perhaps maybe thinking that some of the changes that we've made, they might think to themselves that it's there for the taking. But it's up to us tonight to just go and show a fantastic application, great determination, and go and take it.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Smashing.
Okay. 7 changes in total. Stan, as a fan, when I look at my team starting lineup and I see changes up front and in midfield, I'm usually okay with that. Where I get a bit worried is when they change the man between the sticks.
Yeah, Brad Guzan, though, is a very good goalkeeper. Martin O'Neill wanted him, I think, for the last 12 months. They were prepared to let Scott Carson go to bring him in and accommodate him. And Brad Friedel, of course, his compadre, both American internationals. He's a good goalkeeper, good shot stopper, and I think he'll play many games for Aston Villa.
OK, Stan, we've got to talk about Slavia Prague, because these players are going to have at least 50% of the ball in the first half, and it's not just about Vladimir Smicer.
No, they've got 2 or 3 players. Martin Variat, the goalkeeper, Peter Cech's understudy, 38 years of age now, Vladimir Smicer, of course, and Thomas Neshid, watch out for him up front, 6'3", 19 years of age, 9 goals in 12 games, a really top striker that Premier League clubs are looking at.
Well, the scene is set, and what a scene it is, as we're about to show you now. It's called the Eden Stadium. It's set in a city of 100 spires, and kick-off is next. "1,500 Aston Villa fans have made the journey to Prague." That's quite impressive. Lovely stuff. They'll have a great night out tonight. Wonderful city.
Slavia! Slavia!
And there'll be 18,500 Slavia Prague fans shouting back at them. It's as simple as that, and it's about time we got a little taste of the atmosphere. So we'll talk to Pat Nevin, who is pitch side at the moment. It's interesting because those fans have every right to be buoyant on both sides, home and away. They'll match each other in confidence, and bar a little blip on Monday from Aston Villa, they match each other in form.
Yeah, I think we're all quite surprised with Aston Villa's defeat on Monday night against Newcastle. Didn't play at their very best at all, but to take nothing away from Aston Villa, I think they have had a very good season this season. And I think really they've got a strength and depth in the squad that no one outside the top four has got that quality they've got. And as such, the changes that are made tonight, I don't think they're a huge concern. And the fact that they're keeping players up front, Agbon Lahore obviously playing, Carew playing as well, young. So they've got pace and they've got power to go forward. And I think Aston Villa can be confident tonight.
Pat, I was looking through the 19 competitive games so far that Aston Villa have played, and as an analyst for us, you must have a field day with them, because they either concede or they either score. There's very few nil-nils, just the one.
Do you know, I really enjoy watching Martin O'Neill's Aston Villa, maybe even more than the Celtic team, which is saying quite a lot because they were very successful. But the team that like to attack, it quite often goes, well, tonight it looks like more like a 4-3-3, which falls back to a 4-5-1. But it'll go happily with a 4-4-2, very positive. And away from home, again, we have to remember, Europe away from home, and a big team, a team that, as Martin O'Neill says himself, could have been in the Champions League, or should be in the Champions League. He feels he still wants to go and attack them tonight and try and get the 3 points. And I think quietly, Martin O'Neill and his team feel there's 3 points here to get if they play to their ability.
Pat, it's interesting in terms of the changes Villa have made defensively and in midfield, but no such changes up front. They keep faith with the three, Carew, Agbon Lahore and Ashley Young, vitally important for Villa.
Yeah, I do think he loves John Carew up there because he is the focal point in the team. You can hit the ball up there and it generally sticks. He can hold it a long time and allow those pacey players either to A, help him support, or B, get beyond him more importantly. But at the back it's very interesting. I'm looking forward to see how Guzan does. And Knight as well, I mean, he's coming in there and, you know, it's a big night for him as well because, you know, Quayler, he wants to play at centre-half. So, as I say again, there is strength and depth, and when you've got that, players who come in, they want to make a name for themselves, they want to try and get in the squad. And the final thing I would say, UEFA Cup, Martin O'Neill, he won't say it out loud again, but I think he wants to win this competition.
Absolutely, and I think he thinks he can win it. Thank you very much, Pat. You get buttons to push and packages to make for us. Well, it might be the land of 100 spires, but only 2 commentators, and they're worth their weight in gold. So let's go over for the first half now. Ray Houghton and first Tony Jones. Hi, guys.
Many thanks, Colin. It is a marvellous stadium. It's a brand new arena, as you've mentioned already. It was a wonderful night for Aston Villa when they're at home against Ajax, and they returned to the big time in Europe, in effect. But a much tougher test for them tonight against the team who are top in the Czech Republic.
Well, it certainly will be. You know, Martin's made a few changes tonight. He's given a few of his fringe players the opportunity to play tonight. Now it's up to for them to go out and perform. But I've got to say, I think this team tonight, Slavia Prague, could be a bit of a problem for them, because if you look at the form recently, 16 games that they've played, 11 wins and 5 draws. Great crowd, pitch is fantastic. Now it's up to the Villa players on the fringe to go and prove a point to the manager.
Slavia Prague, a team currently with the best goals for and goals against record in the Czech League. Well, Aston Villa have been feeling the effects of their European excursions, and following Monday's defeat at Newcastle, manager Martin O'Neill has elected to make 6 changes. Steve Sidwell, who's been held back by a calf problem, gets his chance to shine in a new-look midfield. Curtis Davis and that night return in the centre of defence, Saliu and Guzan also included. Injuries rule out both Milner and Petrov. Marlon Harewood hasn't made the trip. He became a father on Tuesday. Azar Osborne's partner is due to give birth any day now.
Well, when you look at the formation here, I'll be intrigued to see how Knight and Davis get on in the centre of the defence for Villa. Also, Salafou will sit in front of the back four, with Garn and Sidwell getting forward at every opportunity. So have to support the front three of Agbonlahor, Carew and Ashlong. Plenty of pace and goals in that front three.
The Slavia Prague are leaders of the Czech league. They've gone 16 games undefeated in all. Vladimir Smica, the most recognisable name on their team sheet, now 35. Smica ended his Liverpool career with a goal in the Champions League final in Istanbul, and then the match-winning penalty in the shootout against Milan. Marek Yaralim is the nephew of the coach Karel Yaralim, while 19-year-old Thomas Netsid is top scorer, 9 goals from 12 league games, 2 in Sundays, 2 on win here over Brno. He's set to join CSKA Moscow in January.
Well, when you look at Slavia Prague, much easier formation from them, 4-4-2. Be intrigued to see how Tavares and Volashak gets on in the middle of the park, but undoubtedly where the strength of the team is up front. Smica is undoubtedly a fantastic player, as we've seen with Liverpool. And watch out for Nedsid, the centre forward. He has got goals in him.
There is Martin O'Neill, so close to success in the UEFA Cup with Celtic when they lost out in the final in Sevilla, don't forget, to Porto 5 years ago now. This is the final year, of course, of the UEFA Cup. But Villa have decided to make big changes here. Brad Guzan, the American international, first choice now for America, gets his chance in goal. He has featured already this season in the Carling Cup, but it's a big step up for him. It is a big step up as well for Aston Villa. This evening is their 8th European tie already this season. Our match officials are all from Cyprus. Kostas Kapitanis is our match referee. Aston Villa this evening in their change strip. 8th European tie tonight for Aston Villa, a European season which started in mid-July. They played only 9 games on their way to winning the European Cup in Rotterdam 26 years ago. Villa then get us underway. They're not the first English team to play at the new-look Eden Stadium. Oxford University hold that honour. They played in a friendly here back in May to commemorate the fact that the university sent a team to Prague to play back in 1899. Even in the 19th century, Prague, a popular destination for football tours, as it still is today. Early touch for Guzan. He's away with the United States at the Olympic Games, delayed the start of his Aston Villa career. Curtis Davis wearing the captain's armband this evening for Aston Villa. Noel Lowson at the back, of course. Gareth Barr, the other alternative as skipper. Here's Gardner, looking for Carew. Helped away by Zat Knight, who's yet to play in the Premier League this season. And that is important, isn't it, for Villa?
Well, it is. You know, when you're looking at the young players in the back line, and the likes of Davis and Zach Knight, haven't had much first team football this season, so it's going to be an important night for them, because you don't know what injuries over the course of the season, when they're going to be used. So the likes of Knight, the many games he can get in, the better he will feel. Just intrigued to watch both lineups. We were told that Agbonlahor would play on the right of a 3, but he looks like he's playing more central alongside John Carew, and I think that's his best position. You know, he's got plenty of strength and power, and he's the one that can get in behind the back line of Slavia Prague this evening.
Second foul that's been won by John Carew, not given a night off for this European tie. Got himself in big trouble, of course, on the evening or the day before Aston Villa played Ajax on match day 1. Expensive night out, 2-week fine. Ashley Young then with his free kick. He put behind for a corner. Villa able to apply some early pressure.
I think that's a very good ball, and with the height that Villa have got, with Davis coming from, and Knight, Carew, you know, they certainly have got plenty of bodies in there if the delivery comes in. And I thought it was an excellent ball for Ashley Young into the right area. Unfortunately, the Villa players didn't attack it.
You see John Carew there just on the edge of the 6-yard area, complaining that he's being held. It's Netsid who's got back to try and mark Carew. Well, the Spaniard, who's playing as a right back this evening for Villa. Eligible for Villa in the UEFA Cup because he didn't play for Rangers in that torrid Champions League qualifier they had. Rangers missing out on the Champions League altogether. Craig Garner loses out to Tavares. Tavares again. Now Czerny. Netzik, the striker everybody's talking about out here at the moment. Just 19 years of age. Krajcik. Here's Smitsa.
Just looking at the formation as well from Slavia Prague, and we thought we were going to play a 4-4-2, but they aren't. At the moment, Tavares is sitting in front of the back four, and they're playing very narrow in midfield with three: Volashak, Czerny, and Yarlem, who we thought was going to play on the right. He's actually playing in the centre of the three. So there's not much width, and they're really up to the fullbacks from Villa, particularly I think on this left-hand side. If Shorey can keep his width, I think there's plenty of space out here for him to get on the ball and start the attacks, having Ashley Young down this left.
Marcel Emery's signed a new extended contract this week with Aston Villa. England under-21 international striker who they signed from Watford after a very good season for Watford in the Championship. And again by Kuru. Salafu is allowed to go a long way. Quayler with the cross. Oh, it's been missed there. It's come right through to Kuru. Closed down very quickly there by Tavares. It was a horrible mistake by Mate Krajcik, the right back.
Should have got out his feet quicker though, as well there. I was just saying about the fullbacks, that's Quayler getting down the right there. There's loads of room if they want to get forward. Just his touch there lets them down. Tavares came in quick to make sure he wasn't getting strike away. I thought Kuru could have got out his feet quick and got his shot on target.
Krajcik, vastly experienced. He played in all Slavia Prague's games in the Champions League last season. They emerged through 2 qualifying rounds. They were in the same group as Arsenal and they were beaten 7-0 at the Emirates, don't forget. Since that a season on, this is a much stronger team. Quayler looking for Agbon Lahore.
That's the right ball though. That's the right ball. You know, that's where you want Agbon Lahore using his pace. You know, getting where he can get in between the full-back and the centre half. Play it down the channel for him. It's just unfortunate from Quayler's point of view. He's seen where he wanted to play the ball, just too much pace on the pass.
Let's see with the flick on. Salafu, one of those trying to make an impression here. Salafu, the Togolese international. Sidwell also eager to get some time on the pitch, having picked up a calf problem, having made the switch from Chelsea in the summer. Another busy summer for Martin O'Neill. Here's Krajcik, allowed to cut inside and to get the shot away. First real opportunity that Slavia Prague have had.
Good run, wasn't it, from the right back? You know, took on Shorey, cut inside him, then outside of him. The only thing you would say that he'd done wrong there, Krajcik, he's going for the shot towards the near post, being far better, trying to hit it across the goalkeeper, going for the far post.
30 now, Krajcik looks far better going forward than he does when he's in that back line of 4, that very solid back line of 4. On by Czerny. Now Hubacek. Tavares, who was playing in the 3rd division in France before he pitched up in Prague. Davis with the push.
Needless free kick really gives away here, isn't it? One of these, no need to try and win it there. You know, Smeeks is in front of him. Just come in behind him, hold your position, make sure that he just passes the ball wide. And you know, giving away free kicks in this area of the field where you give your opponents the opportunity to deliver balls into the box is not the right way to defend from young Davis.
Czerny across to take this free kick. There's a line of 5 to pick out on the edge of that Aston Villa penalty area. The delivery was poor. Not exactly sure that Ashley Young was 10 yards away from that free kick, but Villa have got away with it. Suri. Rabbit's the skipper. by Netted. Villa moved up to 4th in the Premier League table with a 3-2 win over Blackburn Rovers last Wednesday. It was their 3rd game in 7 days, and although they won, Martin O'Neill said afterwards that he thought his team was rather jaded. Defeat as well at Newcastle on Monday evening. Villa manager deciding to make 6 changes for this fixture in Prague. 2nd game that Villa have played in the group stages of the UEFA Cup, the final UEFA Cup this. Next we're into the Europa League. Different format for the competition as of the start of next season. 12 groups of 4, fixtures played both home and away. And again by Netze.
Well, just a note, Tony, if you look, there's a chance for a 2v1 situation. Now, Villa should know better than that. There's 2 Slavia players over there and they didn't react quickly enough, and it was just as well that they didn't get their head up to put the ball down quickly from that corner.
Sears just ahead of the goalkeeper Guzak. Rabbit's also in there. And Bon Lahore. It again has won the header. Here's Yaralim. United full stretch. So determined to be first to the ball, as was Shorey then. Tavares loses out to Sidwa. And Bon Lahore. He's got Peru to his left, Young to his right, and Bon Lahore goes on his own. He's gone for the return, didn't quite get it, but there's still a chance here for Villa. It's Young.
That was a chance, that was a real chance for Villa. His final ball in from Ashley Young was really poor, because Bon Lahore had done so well over on this left hand side. Talking about the pace that they've got on the side, it was there for everyone to see, but just here took too long, and then that was like a bit of a cross shot, miskicked it behind. But earlier there was a ball, he just had to bend it beyond the last defender, and Bon Lahore had made the run in there, and it was a simple tap in for him. Ashley Young knows he should have done better with that cross.
Ashley Young has scored a couple of goals in Europe already this season. Scored in Villa's 4-1 success against FH in Iceland, and also in their 1-0 win over Odense in the Intertoto way back in July. Krajcik again. Now Yaralim.
And that chance came from Ashley Young. He's been given a licence to roam. You know, he's not playing here on the left-hand side. We've seen on that occasion he was over on the right. He felt he was fouled, but the referee didn't give it, and that gave them a chance to break their Slavia Prague. And the final strike from Yaram, I think he actually hit it into the ground. Didn't get the right purchase on the shot, but there's been question marks because Krajcik's getting down this right-hand side for them, and he's posing a few problems for Villa defensively at the moment.
Tavares. Now Krajcik. Here's Netsid. Tightly marked by Davis. Yaralim again. Now Hubacek. And towards Bolashak. No real power in the shot. Just beginning to create a bit more now, Slavia Prague. Team who have had a fantastic season in the Czech League. They just missed out on the Champions League. They were beaten by Fiorentina over 2 legs. Goals for Giladino and Luta, which eventually put them out, and they only just squeezed through into the UEFA Cup. An away goals win against the Romanian team Vaslui. Short. Looking for Carew. He was holding on to his marker then. John Carew, who's Villa's most experienced European campaigner. Don't forget, here on 5 you can always get in touch with us, and we'll discuss your questions at half-time. Stand in the studio alongside Colin this evening. All you've got to do is text the word comments, plus your name, views and where you're from to 80088. So it's comments plus your name, views and where you're from to 80088. On the hall. Kuwait. Long again towards Carew. He's won the header.
Just on that, Tony, when it goes to the full-backs at the moment, because they haven't got anyone going out in the wide areas, you know, if you're a wide midfielder, it would be an easy ball for Quaylark to pick him out. Because there's no one out there, he's limited in his options. That's why he hits a long, hopeful ball downfield to Carew, and he's only got Agbo and Lahore in and around him, so if he wins it, he doesn't pick out the strike partner, it's just going to go straight through the keeper. So I think if Villa are going to do much in this game, they have to get wide, get the players wide.
Here's Cherney. Oh, it's a really good shot. Well dealt with there by Guzan. Cherney with the first time hit, and it was Netsid who was trying to follow up then. Excellent save by Brad Guzan, the young American goalkeeper playing for Villa for just the second time.
Good strike, wasn't it? I mean, he's seen it all the way, had plenty of whip on the ball. Thought he was just going to nestle in that bottom right-hand corner, but he got done well to it, and then reacted when Netsid had the strike afterwards. Wasn't the best of shots from Netsid, just falling off balance, but there's a strike from Volashak, and it was a decent save from the keeper.
Tavares. On again by Volashak. He was looking for Netsid. Interesting that Netsid can play for Slavia Prague up until Christmas time, but he won't be able to play for CSKA Moscow, who joins in January. He'll be ineligible. Cup tied already. Slavia Prague delighted to be back in the Garden of Eden, their new home as of the end of last season. They played their final fixture here when they clinched the championship in the Czech Republic. And they played that, previously they played that friendly game against Oxford University. And they're making a lot of noise. And away in a temporary home, they have had huge financial problems, but boosted by their season in the Champions League last season, they've had an injection of plenty of revenue. Season ticket sales have been up. There's a wall of colour now behind their own goalkeeper, Martin Vanyak. It's all being coordinated. They're coordinated behind the goal as well, colour coordinated. Red, yellow and white. Shorty's cross is charged down. And there's confirmation that they were founded in 1899. Pay attention those at the end, on the far right. He's going to work harder on those, obviously. The man with the megaphone. O'Neill has made the point that it's not the end of the world should Villa lose here. Fears that his team can get away with one defeat in this UEFA Cup qualifying process. 3 out of 5, of course, will make their way into the knockout stages, together with those who drop out from the Champions League after match day 6. Guela. Bon Lahore gives chase. European campaign for Village, which started on the 19th of July against Odense in Denmark. 2-2 draw, then they won 1-0 at Villa Park. Fukama picking up a nasty injury, which is likely to keep him out until the new year, and Steve Sidwell as well, who picked up a knock against Odense, who's missed the majority of the first half of the season.
Well, he needs to be a little bit more involved at the moment as well. We haven't seen much of him in the middle of the park. You know, I know he's new to the club at Aston Villa, but you want to get the fans behind you. The way you're going to do that is getting around, getting on the ball. We haven't really seen much of him and Gardner or Salafou in the middle of the park, and that's such. It's the engine room of your football team. You know, you need to get them on the ball. We haven't seen them doing it often enough so far.
Slavia are looking for the run there of Vladimir Svitsa. Czech champions now playing with a little bit more adventure. Cautious opening 5 or 10 minutes or so. Sui's push. They spent big during the summer. It's part of £40 million. I mean, Manchester City and Tottenham spent more. Two of England's other representatives in the UEFA Cup, along with Portsmouth. Sidwell with a free kick. Looking again for Carew. Oh, that's a good save. It's an exceptional save. It was Gardner who's quickly onto that. First time volley by Craig Gardner, and Vaniak, the goalkeeper, made it look easy.
Well, that was a very good save. The only thing he would save was it was pretty much straight at him. I mean, a lot of the you think Gardner could do about it. He's hit it cleanly. They don't defend it particularly well, Slavia Prague, but the keeper Vaniak reacted really well, getting down smartly to make the save. Which shows if you put the right delivery in there, Tony, there's going to be chances. You know, Villa have got enough height there, and I think that's what it is. The centre-halves are worried about Davies coming forward, Carew up there, and they're leaving the likes of Gardner free, and if the movement's good, you can get your strikes at goal.
Craig Gardner is very much a European regular for Martin O'Neill's team this season. It's just one of their games so far. Scored as well in that 1-1 draw against FH of Iceland at Villa Park. Was almost job done for Villa after the away leg. By Sidwell. Ashley Young now, with support from Shorey. Now by Brabitz. Picked up by Agbon Lahore. He's just caught there by Cherney.
This is a definite chance because Shorey will come over from the left back to take this, and it'll be an in-swinger. And if you get the good ball in there, all you need is the merest of touches, and it'll pose all sorts of problems for the goalkeeper Vaniak. But it's all about the ball in, Tony. If it's got good quality with the height, as I say, to keep mentioning for Villa, there's a definite chance in it.
Curtis Davis has gone forward. Quayler is also on the edge of the penalty area. Shorey waits. Surely no hurry to take this free kick. Cypriot referee just having a word with one or two of the Slavia defenders. It's in by Shorey. It's an easy catch as well for Vaniak.
You give him the big build-up and he does that. And all he needed to put it into the right area. Nothing worse when you've got all your defenders coming forward. You know, they're looking forward to a decent ball in, and what it is just goalkeeping practice. We chip it into his hands.
Carew was playing the European football, scoring in Europe 9 years ago. Featured in the Champions League for Valencia. And his first Norwegian team. Metzi. Helped away by Davis. Slavia have got the free kick here.
I'll give it for a handball, I think, in the end, because certainly Agbon thought he was being fouled, and you've just seen a moment, he just catches it. This is the challenge first from Salafou, and I think Davis comes in. This was already gone by then.
Yaroli. nephew of the coach. Now Netsid. Czerny, and again. Chance here certainly for Slavia. Sidwell who made the block. Salafu. At Bon Lahore. Able to get in behind the Brabets. Brabets has scored the all-important equaliser for Slavia Prague in the away leg against Vasily in Romania. It was the away goal which ensured that Slavia didn't do without Europe this season, having missed out in the Champions League to Fiorentina. Carew closely watched by Tavares. First time hit by Gardner, this time less accurate.
Well, there's so much space over in this left. If they can get their head up in the middle of the park, the likes of Gardner there. He's got Nicky Shorey in that left back position in all sorts of space. Likewise, you've got Ashley Young out here in the left, and he's trying an impossible shot from 20-30 yards out on his weaker left foot. The ball's bouncing. I think they've got to be a little more clever in midfield, Villa. Get their passing right, use the wide areas. But I do feel that's where they're at the weakest, Slavia Prague.
Let's watched there by Zach Knight. Zach Knight played in the UEFA Cup with Fulham some years ago now. Here's Shorey. And again by Carew. Here's Ashley Young. This is much better from Villa. Now Sidwell. Here's Kuela. And again towards Sidwell, who's won the header. He's helped away by Krajcik as Ashley Young was poised then to test Vanyak.
Sorry, Tony, that's a perfect example though. You've got to come in where you see they've come out to the left, it's not on, they've gone back into the middle. Sidwell's got on it as a central midfield player should, passes it out wide, and Quayler puts the ball into the box.
Ashley Young looking again for Sidwell. He's had a go, that's been deflected. It's John Carew's goal. Sidwell's shot, but it was the deflection there of John Carew which totally wrong-footed Martin Vanyak. Now who'll claim that? Sidwell or Carew?
Well, I'm giving it Carew. I mean, I know Sidwell took the shot on, but I don't think it was going to go in until it took the deflection. He said it's mine. Look, there's John Carew, it's certainly his. He just turned his back on it, and look at the keeper, Vanyak. He's going for the initial strike from Sidwell, completely out of position. There's nothing he could do about it, the keeper. He's done everything right. There's a deflection, huge deflection that's took it past him, but Villa won't mind. Carew's got the goal, they're 1-0 up.
Second goal in Europe then this season for John Carew. A fortunate one maybe for Aston Villa, but they've taken the lead here now in the Czech Republic. What a difference a fortnight makes. 2 weeks ago he was the bad boy, of course, at Villa Park, having gone walkabout in the city centre when he was unwell. Stayed out beyond the midnight curfew, was disciplined by Aston Villa. This evening he's in the starting 11. He has scored the opening goal. Ashley Young chested down now towards Sidwell. Agreed perhaps that he's not on the score sheet. Here's Shorey. He's done well to get to the byline. Can't get away from Krajcik. He's going to have another go though, and this time he has delivered the cross. Well, this is the team, don't forget, Slavia Prague, with the tightest defence currently in the Czech Republic. They've conceded just 7 goals in the league, but Villa have managed to find a way through. Lucky break maybe for Aston Villa. It's just the start that they wanted.
How they want to drive home. You know, the fact that they're ahead as well now, Tony. They've got 1-0 up. Don't sit back. I think Slavia are there for the taking. I'll keep coming back to the wide areas. I think if they can stay wide, Villa, there'll be plenty of options and opportunities to get crosses and shots into the goal, and I think there'll be more goals from them.
Ashley Young over this free kick. He's had a go. Oh, he stumped the outside of the post. Terrific attempt by Ashley Young. Slavia Prague weren't expecting that. Vanyak again, the goalkeeper, was completely flat-footed. Another great opportunity for Villa. It's almost a statement of intent, this. It's a very tough group, don't forget. Ajax in this group, Zelina, and also Hamburg as well. Team who were top of the Bundesliga up until last weekend. Martin Jol's team have fallen away.
If very unlucky here, isn't it? Keeper's well beat. I'm not sure, it was like a cross shot, wasn't it? You know, he's probably trying to put it in the right area there, but he's got too much on it. In the end, you can see his reaction. He's trying to make out it was a shot at goal, and they're very unlucky to see it come off the post and no one there to put in the rebound.
Free kick for Slavia. Decision that went against Steve Sidwell. As you can see from his reaction, he didn't agree with the verdict of Kostas Kapitalis. Bolashak over this. So well flighted towards Tavares. And tried to pick out the skipper, Brabets.
I tell you what, I've seen him do it so many times. Nicky Shore, he's not the biggest, but he ends up he's marking one of the tallest players in the opposition side. I've seen it the other night against Newcastle. I think he was up against Amiobi, and there he's up against Brabets, who's a good 5-6 inches taller than him. But what he does, he just leans into them. He doesn't allow them to get a free header, puts them off. Really good defending from Shore.
Nicky Shore, one of Aston Villa's summer signings. Joined from Reading, relegated from the Premier League. It's a big question this season, of course, is can Villa continue to make progress in the Premier League under Martin O'Neill? Carew. Back heel to find Ashley Young. Cross is driven deep, perhaps too deep. Salafi. Now Sidwell. Here's Shore. Fighting to keep Carew to come short. Sidwell again. Helped on by Shorey once more. Spin there by Agbonlahor, and that's brave goalkeeping as well by Vanyak. Brave goalkeeping by Vanyak, and it is a yellow card which has been issued here to Craig Gardner. I think he was entitled to go for that, and I think Gardner isn't happy that the yellow card has been produced.
Well, it's like anything, isn't it? You know, whenever you get with a goalkeeper, he's always going to get the advantage. I mean, did he really catch him or not? It's a lovely little ball from Nicky Shorey. Missed control there from Agbonlahor. Defender's beaten. Yeah, he said he looked like he had it, and he's came in late and caught the keeper. Good decision by the referee. You're entitled to go for it, of course you are, but once the goalkeeper's got it in his hands, Tony, I think you've got to try and pull out of it. Unfortunately, Gardner's gone in, maybe just caught the keeper, and it was a good decision by the referee.
Yellow card then for Craig Gardner. Vanyak, the goalkeeper, is okay. 38-year-old now, Vanyak. Still seen very much as a backup to Petr Cech. He didn't make the Euro 2008 squad.
We see it again here. As the keeper goes down, as he got it in his hands, he looked like he hadn't, I don't know, maybe he had one eye on Gardner coming in, but it certainly looked like he just might have caught him with his right foot there. Look at the reaction from Gardner, just shaking his arm, have to say his hand there, just to say that he hadn't caught the keeper.
Roberts as well, catching the flailing arm, the gloved hand of Gabi Agbonlahor.
It's been a good spell for Villa in the last 10 minutes or so. You know, since they've got the goal, they've continued to attack and put Slavia Prague on the back foot. And he'll be delighted so far, the manager. You know, you look at the other end, Gusan, the keeper's had one save to make, not a lot else to do. And the back four have done their job. And in many respects, I think Slavia played into them. I think their tactics and the way they've set up so far really suits Villa. Lots of spaces out wide for Villa to get players and get at them.
Ashley Young. Support now from Shorey. In by Young, offside. Wouldn't have counted anyway. Carew's header.
Lazy plays it from the two strikers, both Agbonlahor and Carew in offside position when that ball came in. A bit static. Should really be looking across the line to make sure they're not beyond the last defender, because they're in good positions. No need to go ahead of the ball there. Just stand back a little bit, let the ball be delivered from Ashley Young, and it would have been a simple header for him.
Touched on it earlier, Ray, that Villa have made good progress with Martin O'Neill in charges. His third season in charge, 11th, 6th last season, and all the talk in the last week or two is whether or not they can make that push and squeeze into the top four, be looking towards the Champions League next time around. Never mind the Europa League.
Well, I think fifth would probably be as good as they'll do. I do feel that the likes of Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea and Liverpool have got a head start, and just with the quality they've got and the fact that they're in the Champions League year on year, they can go out and strengthen by bringing in the best players.
Here's Ashley Young trying to take advantage of the initial slip there by Journey, who'd given the ball away. Shorty on again towards Young. This time he is onside. It's been squared back to Carew. That is a magnificent save. Fabulous save by Vaniek to deny John Carew a second goal in this first half. Kuea. Salifou.
Great save. It was a very good. I mean, I will say that when this ball comes in from Ashley Young, he just pulls it back, picks out Carew at the edge of the box, and he hits it true and firm, but probably straight at Vaniek. And he reacted well, the big keeper, to make the save. At the moment, you know, Villa are really tearing apart, and it's down this left-hand side with Young. Every time he gets on the ball, he looks a real threat, and he's getting good backup from Nicky Shore from that left-back position, and they will create chances for Villa.
Magnificent save that by Vaniek. Got to his feet so quickly as well. He's back on his feet immediately to make sure that there was no further threat from Villa then. Villa beginning to dominate. Kuwait, ever present for Rangers last season when they reached the final of the UEFA Cup. He thought he was fouled down by Brabitz. Netset, strong, able to hold off to Kuea, but Salifou back there to cover. Sigel and Salifou, the two holding midfielders here for Aston Villa. Hubacek. Another opportunity for Hubacek. Cherney in the middle, joined by Smitzer and Netzer. They're looking for Netzer. Well, you've said it once already in this first half, Ray. Nicky Shorey, not the biggest, but just lean on the attacker and do enough.
He's very clever at it. You know, he doesn't allow, you know, the big players to get above him. He just goes back, he just puts his body in line there with Netzer, doesn't give him a chance to get there. Watch it here. He knows he's much taller, but just look at that. That's really good defending from Shorey.
Shorey, who's seen it all during his football career, played for Leyton Orient in what is now League 2 in England. Here's Sidwell looking for Carew, just jabbed at that. Another splendid move, and so nearly finished in style by Carew.
Should have went with his left foot there, Tony, in my opinion. Lovely little threaded pass through. He's just struggling to get it where he's right. I think if he swings his left at it, he might have a better chance, but Sidwell done brilliant there. Turned the defender, threaded ball through for John Carew, and really maybe could have done slightly better there to get the strike on target.
Sidwell again sliding in, just trying to get the ball away from Cherney. Frustrated by his lack of opportunities in his first, 4 months now at Aston Villa. Back Bon Lahore. Back comes Slavia now with Tavares. Tavares very much one of those European journeymen who's played in France, he's played in Portugal. Enjoying the best spell of his career now in the Czech Republic. Always a threat in front of goal, and managed over 70 in the Premier League last season. This return since 1981 when they won the Football League Championship, as was. They went on to win the European Cup. Enjoyed some great European nights in the time at Villa. Goal against Inter Milan on one occasion.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we beat them on penalties. Lost the first leg over Milan 1-0. Won the second one 1-0. I got the goal, fortunately. Went through on penalty kicks. Great night it was, and let's hope they're going to have plenty more of them, because I think they've started really well tonight. This is a very positive first 37 minutes, 38 minutes of this game from Villa. You know, they've came out with an attacking lineup. They're pushing the fullbacks forward to support the wide players, and at the moment they've pushed Slavia Prague back, and they haven't really had too many efforts to go for a home side.
Sense that there's a little bit of momentum going as well after that tremendous win against Ajax of Amsterdam, the first match night in the UEFA Cup at Villa Park. Krajcik. And again towards Yaralim. It's Yaralim! Good save by Guzan. Well, that was a splendid save by the Aston Villa goalkeeper then to deny Marek Yaralim. Nimble-footed Yaralim as he burst into the penalty area. And a big, strong hand was wrapped around the ball.
Yeah, not the best of defending from the Villa players, allowing Yaralim to get in there on his weaker left foot, and you can see that as well with the strike. It wasn't the cleanest of strikes, he went for a shot at the near post, but I'll tell you what, Guzan, the keeper, got down extremely well to his left-hand side to make the save. Excellent save from the keeper.
The MLS goalkeeper of the year last year. Don't forget there's more UEFA Cup football on 5 later this month on Thursday, November the 27th. Schalke versus Manchester City. You can see that from 5:55. That's on Thursday, November the 27th. And then look what follows. It will be Portsmouth against Milan. That's from 8 on Thursday, November the 27th. Football on 5 later this month. Portsmouth against Milan. And that could be a Fratton Park. Giving Young a nudge in the back. Vladimir Smica back now with the club where he started his career. Joined Slavia as a 14-year-old. It was 3 goals in the league championship here. He's been troubled by injury again, though his time at Liverpool was upset by knee problems, and those problems followed him as well to France, where he was with Bordeaux. Carew had a bit of a coming together then. Salifou. Fine run by Salifou. Quayle. Will settle for the throw.
Fullbacks are doing so well, aren't they? You know, they're both pushing forward. Quayle down that right, Shorey down the left, trying to get that extra man in the wide areas.
Well, this is a sad sign, because I'm sure Vladimir Smica would have loved to play 90 minutes against Aston Villa, but you can see that he is limping. Svento has come on in his place, and Smica is off after just 41 minutes. Has had further injury problems this season. Scored a couple of goals against Sparta Prague, who of course are Slavia's big city rivals. Sparta Prague Slavia enjoying a 4-1 success over Sparta Prague. We're the money club in the Czech Republic after so many seasons in the Champions League. Here's Shorey. Gardner again well forward. Bon Lahore. Now Carew. In the end, Carew was holding on to Tavares. There simply wasn't anything on for him there. He had to turn and had to try and get the shot away.
Well, I just think there, Tony, when it came into me, maybe have got his head up a little bit quicker, because Salifou was on the edge of the box, but he was never looking for him. I've got to say, it was inventive play from Villa down this left-hand side again. Ashley Young and Bonler are involved, and they look like they're on the same wavelength tonight. They're going to create chances, as we've just seen there. You know, they've got the pace and the strength and the ability. Just need that second goal at the moment, just to drive home the advantage that they've got.
Slavia Prague forced to make a change before half-time. Apparently Vladimir Smica has got a problem with his left calf. Maybe a relief that it's not the knee, but it's forced Karel Yaralim to make a change before half-time. Here's the substitute, Sventa. Hubacek.
Here's the problem. Wubacek puts the ball into the box. They've got two players in there. And Sventer's just going as a sub, and Nedzid. And they haven't got enough options. You know, when you're playing with three central midfield players the way that they are, someone has to break. You know, we've seen Gardner for Villa getting in there, Sidwell getting in advanced positions. But when you're looking at the midfield players for Slavia Prague, you're really looking for someone to break in there, whether it be Folashak, you know, Cherny or Yarlin. Someone has to make that extra man in the box.
The Cypriot referee then showing the international gesture for just shut it. Doing I won't say a quiet word with Ashley Young. The hand signal said it all. Volashak, Tavares, Krajcik, closed down quickly by Ashley Young. Simply not clicking for Slavia, is it?
Well, I've lost the way since the goal, but Martin will be delighted the way his team's working hard. You know, their passing's improved as the game's gone on. They're looking total control at the moment. You know, Guzan, the Villa keeper's made two saves, one of them from Yarlin, which was an excellent save, but Villa have had plenty of decent chances, and I think they'll get more if they continue playing in the same vein.
Smith said suitably glum. Martin O'Neill has said that 7 points should be enough for Aston Villa to reach the last 32 and they get back into the knockout stages. Just the one extra minute then at the end of this first half. A good first half for Aston Villa, despite their many changes. If you have joined us late, Martin O'Neill deciding to make 6 alterations following the defeat at Newcastle United on Monday evening. At Bon Lahore. Ashley Young, now Sidwell. Shorey. Bon Lahore being held, a last chance at the end of the first half maybe now for Aston Villa to exploit this. Ashley Young with a free kick, having already curled one against the outside of post and bar. Different approach this time, and it was a deflection which nearly took it beyond the reach of the goalkeeper again. Ashley Young has been overshadowed somewhat in the last few days, of course, because his schoolmate is one Lewis Hamilton, but it's John Carew will be making all the headlines for the right reasons again should Aston Villa hold on to this lead. Steve Sidwell's shot, which was deflected in by Carew for his second goal in Europe this season. It's Aston Villa who have the advantage at half-time, although the American goalkeeper Brad Guzan made a couple of really good saves. But in Prague at half-time, it is Slavia 0, Aston Villa 1.
And Aston Villa have not managed an away goal since visiting West Brom at the Hawthorns in September. So a good habit to break and a lot to look at after this. Hi, welcome back. Not the usual Aston Villa we're used to seeing, Stan. Interesting, a quick summarise of that first half. Didn't have the width, but it worked.
Yeah, the first 20-25 minutes, you could see why Martin O'Neill had Gardner, Salifu and Sidwell in midfield to try and cramp the space, because Slavia Prague, pretty much like Arsenal, they like to play little triangles and get forward that way, so it worked from a Villa tactical perspective. Nicky Shorey, though, got forward quite well as the game went on. Ashley Young, Carew and Abonga, of course, you can't shackle for the whole half, and that's how it turned out. And Brad Guzan in goal did particularly well. A couple of good saves.
Cool. Well, slightly prophetic, Pat Nevin, you decided to have a little look at John Carew throughout that first half, and his contribution was vital. Take us through it, Pat.
Well, I have to say, John Carew sometimes is unplayable. Other times he's unfathomable. It's absolutely incredible. We watch him right from the start. It's he's a big player, obviously, at Aston Villa. A lot of the balls are played up for him quite frequently. But, you know, it takes a long time to get warmed up. I mean, this is his first touch in the game, and it's a terrible touch. He just doesn't get going early. I mean, he's a big man, you know, and gets the ball here. He just seems very slow to turn. That's a decent back heel, but he's just not got his feet with him right at the start of the game. He looks a bit cumbersome, maybe a bit clumsy. Again, quite early in the game here, he lays the ball off. Good centre forward play. You see him here. Now he's laid it off, so what you do is bust a gut to get in that box. Come on, bust a gut to get in that box. Come on, John, get there. He doesn't move. However, you can't leave him alone for a second because he will always pick up the right position. And in this occasion, he gets the right position. It played back to him. Once again, this is the right position, but sheer luck more than anything else. And sometimes with John Carew, it's actually almost laughable the way it hits off him here. But sometimes with John Carew, the thing is, he looks so immobile some days, but it looks that bad because of Ashley Young, who's playing alongside him, is incredibly quick. And maybe Agbon Lahore as well was incredibly quick. So he's a strange player to watch a lot of the time, but I think he's a player that he's, even when he's not playing well, you have to have him there.
Pat, give me the player's point of view, and we'll ask Dan after as well. What's it like to play with somebody who's hot and cold?
Well, I think when you're having one of the cold days, what you have to do is make sure you get them, you play to their strengths. If John Carew is not going to put himself about a huge amount today, well, make sure you get him to the back post. Tell him to hang about there. He's got enough power. He's got the height. He will do that. He'll get a goal. He'll get a chance. And more than anything else, he'll take a couple of players with him. And that's what happened a few times. We saw Gardner get a chance in the first half as well, purely because they were fearful of Carew and one or two others, including Knight, coming up.
Thanks very much, Pat. Stan, would you want John Carew as your wingman?
Absolutely. I think that he's crucial to the way that Villa play. When he doesn't play and a big man doesn't play up front for Aston Villa, Agbon Lahore in particular doesn't hold the ball up well, and Young and Agbon Lahore don't knit together quite as well. So John Carew is absolutely crucial to Villa when they play well. And
of course, when I said wingman, that was a Top Gun reference, not on the wing, but your partner up front. Now, you nailed it pre-first half. You talked about the change of keeper and how this guy's a great shot stopper, and he proved that and did a wonderful job coming in cold for Aston Villa.
He did indeed, and like we said, Seamus McDonough got it absolutely right when I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. Good shot stopper. That one's a nice height. He just parries it away, gets a really strong hand on it though. Just seeing there, I think that was Cherney right across there, just parried out. And he's done particularly well.
You have to admire Guzan as well, because Brad Friedel's just equalled Frank Lampard's Premier League record of 164 games in a row. Patience is going to be important.
It is, but you just see there, that's a wonderful save. He gets down quick, strong hand, keeps it in it. Very reminiscent of Nigel Spink in the 1982 European Cup final. Very, very similar, and he went on to have a very good career for Villa.
It's just a step too far in terms of being anal. Let's talk about Martin O'Neill's man management, because it wasn't something obvious in the first half, but here you've got a player like Gardner who's not playing at all hardly in the Premier League, but he's only missed one game in Europe. He manages him to get him up. He was running his heart out in that first half.
Yeah, and Martin first tried it against FNO. He brought him in as a midfielder, put Rio Coker as a fullback that day, so it was obviously something he wanted to do.
And we're seeing Ashley Young, who's just signed 4 years as well. Another example of how Martin O'Neill has his players playing for him. You go back 3 months, Stan, and you see exactly what he was going through with Gareth Barry. A lot's changed.
Absolutely, and like I say, he engenders a lot of loyalty as a manager. He's a manager that you want to play for. There's a little bit of speculation that Ashley Young might go elsewhere. 4 years he's tied down. Villa fans will be delighted with that.
Wonderful. Well, still danger afoot in the Garden of Eden. It is not done yet. Temptation still looms. Disciplined performance needed in the second half, and that's next. It was billed as a tough test for Aston Villa. So far, so good. They're in Prague to face Slavia, and Ray Houghton and Tony Jones will take us through live and exclusive the second half.
Thanks, Colin. Yeah, more of the same from Aston Villa, I suspect, in this second half. And Slavia Prague have made an alteration at half-time. They've brought on an attacking midfielder, Tanja Belade, in place of Volashak, the 23-year-old Ladislav Volashak there, in confirmation of that alteration at half-time, forced into making a first-half change. Vladimir Smica having gone off with a problem to his left calf. Destin Zvento has come on in his place. Zvento missed much of last season because he damaged knee ligaments when he was at Derby County. He went to Derby for a pre-season trial and picked up a nasty injury and was unavailable to Slavia then during the first half of last season. As you might expect, Slavia have started the second half with a little bit more urgency. roused by their coach Karol Jarolím. Jarolím now in his second spell in charge of Slavia. Easy take for Guzen. 6 changes, don't forget, for Aston Villa this evening. Guzen with a couple of excellent first half saves, the United States international goalkeeper, and there is Belaid, who scored 6 goals from midfield, attacking midfielder, just 21. Managed 4 during the second half of last season as well. Former Inter Milan junior, managed just 1 game in Serie A. Tunisian international who was born in Paris. Gardner. Salifou. Ashley Young with the late run. Here is Young. It's been squared back towards Agbonlahor, and Salifou can't get his shot away. But great vision there by Salifou to pick out the run of Ashley Young, who ghosted in unmarked. Krajcek just hadn't got to grips with him then. Here's Knight. Gave a head of work to Cuela then as he tried to jab that ball away, and Aston Villa creating a few problems for themselves at the start of the second half. It's roused the Slavia support. Passionate supporters, but largely quiet during the opening 45 minutes. Driven in by Belaid. Well defended by Cuela. On by Czerny. Svento. There's a chance. It's the skipper Babarec who got forward then.
Maybe should have done a little bit better as well. So Villa just caught asleep there from that set play. Sventa got into the far post, pulled it back for Brabitz, and the big centre half reacted late to the strike, took it wide of the goal. But you know, this is what you expect from Slavia Prague. You know, I'm sure their coach Jarolím at half-time trying to wind them up, trying to get them to be a bit more positive, try and close Villa down, get the ball forward, get the home support going, get them behind them, create 1 or 2 chances.
Villa followers will be encouraged by their team's first half display. 1,500 Villa fans have made the trip to the Czech Republic, surprised perhaps by Martin O'Neill's starting 11. 6 changes from the defeater to Newcastle in the Premier League on Monday. It's been a very compact Villa performance. They've created the better chances, they were rewarded with that. Another fortuitous goal for John Carew with the shot from Sidwell deflected in, but let's not forget that Young clipped a free kick against the crossbar, and Carew had a further chance, and Gardner also denied by Vanyak, the experienced Slavia goalkeeper. Here's Netsid, offside. Everybody behind that goal thinks that it will count, but it won't.
Actually a good ball through. Jarolím, I think it was, that tried to pick out Netsid with a pass, and is he offside? Well, the assistant's got that absolutely spot on, isn't he? There's a little threaded pass, good line from the back 4 of Villa, kept in a nice straight line there, and allowed Netsid to make the break beyond them, and clearly in an offside position. But a little warning for Villa, they have to be on their toes here, and they have to up the tempo themselves.
Netsid, who's been with Slavia since the age of 8, come right the way through all their youth teams. He made his first team debut at just 16. He was in a Czech Republic team who were runners-up in the European Under-17 Championship just 2 years ago. Joint top scorer, he was also in the team of the tournament, voted on by UEFA afterwards, and set to leave in January, set to go to Russia. Agbonlahor fouled. Villa have drawn a line under Monday's confrontation between Newcastle's Joey Barton and Gabby Agbonlahor. Agbonlahor says he doesn't want to take the matter any further, neither do Villa. Oh, Salifou's been put under pressure. And that was a really good recovery. And again by Curtis Davis. Curtis Davis is an expectant father at the moment. Marlon Howard became a father on Tuesday. His partner gave birth to a baby girl. Azar Osborne hasn't made the trip either because his partner is on the verge of producing a baby. Done again by Yarali. Here's Chern. Now Hubacek. Nets it. It's gone out off Gardner.
Very good start for Slavia, isn't it? Taking the game to Villa, trying to get themselves back into it. When you have pressure like this, what you need is 1 or 2 chances.
Grabbits with a blast.
I just feel the way that Gusan's played tonight, it's going to be something special to beat him from that sort of distance. But Grabbits, the skipper, having a strike from fully 30 yards there. Need to get the ball a little bit wider, get some crosses into the box. You've got Sventer up there now alongside Netted. And if you do feel if they can get decent balls into the box, it might pose problems in the back line of Aston Villa. But take nothing away from the way that they've started. Very positive, and Martin O'Neill on the sidelines will be slightly concerned that his players haven't, started the second half, particularly the way they finished up first.
Slavia have made 2 substitutions. That is Karol Yaralim, the coach. On again by Yaralim. And curl by Tavares. Easy take again for Guzan. He'll be happy if Slavia are restricted to shots from that range for the rest of this evening. Krajcik. Randy Lerner, the Aston Villa owner, the billionaire owner, isn't here this evening. Cleveland Browns take on the Denver Broncos in the early hours of tomorrow morning, Central European time. And don't forget, we're always happy to hear your views. You can always get in touch with the programme. Get in touch with it here on 5. Text the word comments plus your name, views and where you're from to 80088. That's 80088. Comments plus your name, views and where you're from. Here's Gardner.
Just there's a perfect example for me. What Villa have to try and do is, when Gardner gets the ball in it, instead of going back down the right hand side where there's no room, get himself on the half turn and then play the ball across field. There's so much space out that left hand side when they bring all the Slavia players over to the right. That Shorey and Ashley Young are in oceans of space. They've just got to get your head up, hit cross-field balls, and they'll get plenty of opportunities. Mustn't get bogged down in the positions that they're in with the ball.
Tavares. Now Yarali. Went on as a second half substitute for Slavia Prague. Another alternative available to Yaralim is Martin Latka, who had a team time in the Premier League with Birmingham City. What sort of reception he'll be given by the Villa supporters should he come on. Slavia very much at home this season. This was their old home. It's been renovated. The club as well have been rejuvenated as well with the income that they received from taking their place in the Champions League last season, which included Arsenal, and were beaten 7-0 at the Emirates by Arsenal. Hubacek. Not by Knight. And as far as Tavares. Hubacek again. Gardner looks for Agbon Lahore. Who spent big during the summer, Martin O'Neill has said that he wants to be involved in European football. Build a squad of players who are capable of making a challenge and also sustaining it. Journey. That's it. Trying to get in behind Davis. was just making the point that he didn't get a shout from anybody then. Skipper having to be watchful.
That all came from John Carew on the edge of the Slavia Prague box, not holding on to the ball, giving it away, allowing them to break the full length of the fielding. Now it results in a corner. He's got to hold it up there, Tony. He's got to hold the ball up. That's his job as a striker.
Something that Pat touched on at half-time. Cherney will swing this in left-footed. Delivery is good. Sybil with a header away, and it was an important header too. Svento was just behind him. He was arching those neck muscles. In by Belling. Hubacek. Here's Cherney. It's a lovely run this by Cherney. Still he goes on. Sidwell's challenge. Both players now hobbling, both Cherney and Sidwell. Bellet made quite an impact since coming on at half-time.
Wrong option there, wasn't it? Because Hubacek had made a good run from that left-back position to support Bellet there. Could have just been a simple ball in behind Quaylar, who'd come over to try and block the shot. He took the shot on there and wasn't going to trouble Bouchard in goal.
Left out of the starting 11. The only change from the 1-1 draw in Romania against Vaslui, who put out of the UEFA Cup in the away goals rule. Slavia Prague just squeezing through into the group stages. Had gone in for a throw into Aston Villa. Further UEFA Cup football on 5 at the end of November. 2 terrific games to come as well later this month. It's Schalke against Manchester City. That's from 5:55, Thursday, November the 27th. Remember that. And also afterwards from Fratton Park, Portsmouth against Milan, and that's from 8. Portsmouth against Milan. Parto, Kaka, Ronaldinho. Like to pick the team now, Ray?
No thanks, I'll leave that up to the manager over there. But it's going to be a fantastic night. Portsmouth against AC Milan will be a tremendous game. I think Villa's got their own problems out here at the moment. They've not started the second half anywhere near as well as they finished the first. They're allowing Slavia, good possession of the ball, passing it around. Haven't, had too many strikes to go, but there's areas, as we'll see here, for Hubacek down this left to get on the ball.
Slavia taking it up again. Hubacek with the cross. Put behind by Shorey. Shorey tidying up, but further pressure for Villa to absorb here. Surely more of an influence since half-time. Yaralim also keen to get involved along with Bellet, who's come on as a substitute. Svento again is unmarked if they can find him. Sidwell is up with Svento. And Sidwell again to clear. Terrific work there by Agbon Lahore. Ashley Young is racing forward in support. Agbon Lahore, who did so well to start that Villa counter-attack then, had just glimpsed Ashley Young out of the corner of his eye on the far side. Svento. Exceptional run there by Svento. We've mentioned that we can see Manchester City in action on 5 at Schalke. They're also in action this evening, and you can see the goals from their game against Twente. Twente now coached by Steve McLaren, enjoying his first season in the Netherlands. And that's the goals from Manchester City against Twente, which you can see on 5 after this live fixture from the Czech Republic. Manchester City in the group with Racing Santander and Schalke and Paris Saint-Germain. This is one of the tougher groups, however. Hamburg in this group, don't forget Zelina as well as Ajax. I think Slavia played both Zelina and Ajax in qualification for the Champions League last season. Bon Lahore offside. Hubacek. Svente trying to get in behind Cuellar. Carlos Cuellar again showing his adaptability. Keen play at centre half alongside Martin Laursen. Finds himself as right back this evening. A very useful addition to Martin O'Neill's squad. Impressive in the UEFA Cup last season with Rangers. And again by Bellet, picking out Yaralin. Krajcek! Agonisingly close. Not entirely sure he was aiming the shot in there, but there were plenty of bodies just ahead of Brad Guzan.
Question is it a cross or a shot? He's put it in with so much power. You know, you would have to be an Olympic sprinter to get on the end of it. It just goes past that far post, but good build-up play, patient play from Slavia Prague, and Krajcek really flashed that ball in front of the goalkeeper Guzan, and Nedved wasn't far away from it.
Krajcek, who has looked somewhat vulnerable at times when he's been defending. No such problems when he gets the chance to go forward. Here's Sidwell. Lucky break off his shins as well. Gardner. Ashley Young unmarked. Here is Young. That's a lovely first take. Help there from Shorty if he needs it. And Salifou. Picked off by Krajcek. And back again by Salifou. Tavares fouled. Understandably, Slavia eager to get on with the game. Hubacek. Sidwell's challenge. And there will be a yellow card for Steve Sidwell, joining Craig Gardner in the referee's notebook. Painful blow for Belaid.
Yeah, he's late, isn't he? He doesn't catch him with his right, it's his trailing leg, his left actually got Belaid there. An easy decision for the assistant. And this is just how the second half's gone. You know, Villa have been off the pace. Been second best for large parts of the second half. There'll be a slight concern for all the players out there. And they need just to get on the ball, take the sting out of the game. The momentum's certainly with Slavia Prague at the moment, but they haven't created the chances for the possession that they've had.
There's just one goal in 4 ties in Europe so far this season. Crucially, it was an away goal as well. Belaid. It's a lovely pass by Belaid. It's a good shot too from Yaralin, which is well dealt with once more by Guzan. It's the movement now from the attacking midfielders, Černý and Yaralin, which is causing the problems here for Aston Villa.
I think it was Černý with a shot, and it was on his right foot. He's a natural left-footed player. It's a lovely threaded ball through from. He got in behind the back line, but I've got to say, on his left he would have scored. With his right, he's just hit it true and firm at the keeper.
Slavia Prague have made 2 changes already. One forced upon them towards the end of the first half when Vladimir Smica went off with a calf problem, but they're ready to make a further change. Third and final substitution. Sinkovic is poised to come on. He'll come on in place of the left back, David Hubacek. Davis with the challenge. Villa concede the free kick. Černý foul.
This is a problem for Villa now. They're giving away needless free kicks, diving into situations, giving away fouls in the areas you don't really want to, because you just put yourselves under pressure. This is the chance here. It's a lovely ball from Belay to pick out Czerny. It's on his right foot, and you can see, you know, he's not as comfortable on that right side as he took the strike on. Hit it straight at Guzan, the keeper, and the keeper done well once again.
Sinkerik on then, Hubacek off. Free kick is awkward for Villa to deal with, and it was almost a presentable chance that for Slavia.
It was actually the substitute. He's just come on the field. He could have been a hero straight away. Marking was poor from Villa on that occasion. Allowed him free, 10 yards out, but never got his body in the right position to get his header on target. But once again, another half chance. Just the pressure that they're putting on Villa at the moment. Just wonder if Martin O'Neill, who's talking to his coaching staff at the moment, whether he's thinking about making a substitution himself.
Sinkerik did score in the Champions League last season. He scored in the 2-1 win over Steaua Bucharest. Another striker on here for Slavia Prague. Totally different approach. Karol deciding to alter things. One of those changes forced on him. Vladimir Smica, a rather anonymous figure in the opening 40 minutes or so before he went off with that calf injury. Czerny taken wide there by Gardner, who's not venturing too far forward at the moment.
I said to you at the break, it's one of them situations, a game like this, where Villa didn't want the half-time whistle. They would be more than happy the way they were playing to continue through to the 90 minutes, whereas Slavia Prague would, was so happy to go in just 1-0 down at half-time. The coach should have a chat with them, sort out a few of their problems, and just give them a little bit of confidence, tell them to push forward, and certainly that's been the major change in this second half so far. A lot more positive from the Slavia side.
Krajcik. Sventa. Tavares. Here's Czerny. It's a really good ball in. He's looking for Netsid. Well, he is such a threat in the air, Netsid. Towering leap then.
Well, that's the first time they've really got a quality ball into the far post. They pose questions to the two centre-halves of Aston Villa. I think that could have been deemed a foul there from Netsid. Looked like he was climbing over Curtis Davies there. Referee didn't blow it. He allowed the play to continue, and that's not far away. You can see by his reaction as well. He knew how close that was to getting the equaliser.
Who'll be leaving Slavia Prague in January. They've made 3 substitutions already, and there's some attention necessary now. Sventa, who's just been cleaned up. Sventa on as a substitute, replacing Vladimir Smica during the first half. In action live on 5 this evening. And the next 2 fixtures you can see as well, against Zelina and also against Hamburg. Villa's next 2 games. It's a European season which began back in July, could end up in Istanbul next May. That's where the final will be held this year. Next year, when the competition changes, becomes the Europa League, the final will be in Hamburg. Salifou. Here's Bellet. Now Sidwell's got to be very careful. He's been cautioned already, and the Cypriot referee just indicating that he just wants Steve Sidwell to calm things down a little bit.
Well, particularly when you're on a yellow card, you have to be careful with every challenge that you go in for. And I don't think it was ever near a yellow card there. Just bumped into the Slavia player, but certainly just be watchful of what you're doing.
Struggling to find a shirt and shorts for Dusan Sventa. Now they found one. It's got a tight fit. It has got his name and number on the back. And from the small roll in the club shop. Sui. Looking for Yaralem. Here's Sidwell. Sventa. And again by Tavares. Yaralem. Krajcik. Helped away by Curtis Davis. Curtis Davis, who completed his move from West Bromwich Albion during the summer, having been at Villa last season on loan. Injury trouble first season. Cuela. Ashley Young again with a late run into the penalty area. Villa corner.
He done brilliant there, Cuela, again, that position down the right. And made a lot of ground up from that right back slot. But looking for a bit of quality. And maybe even John Carew could have made a better movement towards the near post. Because you're quite right, Ashley Young, who started the move off with that crossfield ball, tagged Bonderhoff, was at the far post, and all it needed was a decent ball. If Carew could have took the defender out the middle of the goal there.
In by Shorey. It's come out to Ashley Young. Angle wasn't quite right for him, and his balance and body shape was all wrong.
Well, this was the goal. Sidwell didn't really well. He played a little 1-2 with Ashley Young, and then the strike. The keeper had no chance there, Laniak, as it took a massive deflection of John Carew. He said, my goal. And I don't think anyone's going to argue with Big John, are they?
Typical striker. And Bonlaw. Cuela. Salafou. Who's only played for Villa this season in Europe. Now Ashley Young. Now by Sue on as far as Salafou. Sure. Done well to get the cross in. Comfortably dealt with by Sue. Slavia, 16 games undefeated in all competitions. They lost at Slovan Liberec on the opening day. Conceded just 2 goals in their last 7 games. That make that 3-8 now. One of those was 5 minutes from the end of their weekend win over Brno. 4 points clear at the top of the championship there. Closest challengers, Mlada Boleslav were 3-1 up, but let that lead go in the last 14 minutes against Liberec. Then the free kick has been taken quickly. Almost too quickly, because Slavia have surrendered possession, and now Villa have a free kick.
I just wish the referee played advantage there, because there was a 2v2 situation downfield. This is the challenge from Salafou. He looked like he pulled out of it initially, didn't he? And maybe it was Sidwell coming across that brought Yaralem down, but when Villa tried to play the ball forward there, down towards John Carew, the referee just blew up a little bit too quick.
The supporters currently doing their best to out-sing the Slavia followers. Crowd here at Eden. Sventa. Challenge there by Salafou. Sidwell was tidying up just ahead of his goalkeeper. Done well, Steve Sidwell in the central midfield with Mustafa Salafou. Chen. Sventa offside this time.
Looks like he's got a little bit of pace about him, Sventa, hasn't he? I mean, he's been very positive since he's came on. Trying to get forward on this left-hand side, doubling up with Czerny whenever he can. That's where the midfield of Aston Villa have to be very disciplined. You've seen Sidwell getting back, helping out his back four on occasions, and Salafou's done that likewise. And I think that's important in this second half, where they haven't been at their best allowed really Slavia to dictate the second half, and the only thing that's been missing from the game, they haven't scored so far.
There is a home game against Middlesbrough and two really big tests. They must take on Arsenal and Manchester United in the Premier League. In by Shaw. He's back with Nicky Shorey. Davis in towards Carew. Knocked away by Bravitz. Tavares. Now Churn. Shankar, who made the block then, but he'd stopped running, wasn't anticipating the initial pass from Belaid. Clubs involved in the UEFA Cup at the group stages. 8 groups of 5. Top 3 going through into the knockout with the third place teams, the 8 third place teams from the Champions League, those who drop out in December. It is very competitive this season. Sevilla bidding to win the UEFA Cup for the 3rd time in 4 years. CSKA Moscow. Milan, don't forget, the former European champions. Here's Carew. Sidwell tried to set himself for the volley then, and his timing wasn't right. And now there's a danger of Villa being caught here on the counter-attack. Tavares nets it alongside. Here's Cherney. Oh, what a waste. What a waste.
That was a tired ball in, wasn't it, from Cherney? At one end you see chance for Villa here. I think it's just a little bit of rustiness from Sidwell. Complete air shot as he missed it, and then they break very, very quickly. Slavia down this left hand side, but the final ball in from Cherney just lacked that little bit of quality.
Live football on 5, as there is throughout the UEFA Cup this season, in the group stages, and after the football this evening, Navy Seals is the film. That's with Charlie Sheen immediately after tonight's game. Yarolin. This Group F is very much a family affair as well for the Yarolins. Karol, the coach's son, David, plays for Hamburg. Current international of the Czech Republic. His other boy, Lucas, was captain before joining Siena in Italy. But at the moment, Marek Yarolin, nephew of the coach. On by Tavares. Bellet. Now Cherney. Sventa.
Lost our commentary at the moment, but that's fine. I'm no Tony Jones, but Stan Collymore is certainly a Ray Houghton, so we'll talk you through it until we get our guys back in the gantry at the Eden Stadium in Slavia Prague. Stan Collymore, Aston Villa could do with holding on to the ball a bit more. They're quite deep here, and yet again Slavia Prague attack. Chance.
Yeah, certainly for Villa at the moment, the last 15-20 minutes has been a difficult one for them. They need more from the front 3 really. Bonglahor, Carew and Ashley Young need to be an outlet. At the moment, Salifu is excellent. Gardner and Sidwell are working hard, but it's trying to stem a tide at the moment.
Well, Smeacher went off, obviously, with an injury, but Swento and Nessied seem to be working really well up front and causing trouble, as we see here again from the number at 14.
Yeah, it was Nessied with a chance, just see on the right-hand side of the 6-yard box. Hits it first time. Again, he's only 19, he'll learn as he gets a little bit older. Shoot across the goalkeeper. If Brad Guzan has had an excellent game, parries it out, then there's an opportunity. Hits it into the side netting. Villa desperately need an outlet.
A rare respite for Villa. Free kick, dangerous situation. Depends who they're actually going to risk going forward at this stage of the game. A critical away win puts more than 1 foot in the last 32 of the UEFA Cup. A goal here, and certainly would be a real night to savour for Villa fans.
Ashley Young on the right hand side needs to whip it in. Everybody attacking the penalty spot. Referee blew up and given a foul, but that's the positions that Villa need to get in. You need Gabriel Bonglahor running into the right channel. John Carew, who's been desperately disappointing in the second half, hasn't held the ball up at all, and it basically puts your back 4 and your midfield 3 under pressure. They've worked ever so hard, those 7, but need so much more from 3 experienced players now, Young, Carew and Gabriel Bonglahor.
And as you say, to hold that ball up. When they've got the ball, that means Slavia Prague can't score. Now in the studio we always like to see the English team win. That's no word of a lie. In this case though, being objective, Slavia Prague do deserve an equaliser in this half, but hopefully Aston Villa will hold out.
On Netsid in particular has been a threat in this second half. You can see why Premier League clubs are having a little look at him. Slavia break again in midfield.
Jarlim, Kracik have worked really well on the right for Slavia Prague, created 2 chances in particular, which we'll take a look at it at full time.
Well, Kracik in particular, down that right hand side, the right full-back, experienced player. He's done what Carlos Cuellar did for Villa in the first half. He's got into the final third, got crosses in, and you see Villa a little bit further out now, 20-25 yards outside of their own penalty box. And there's the crucial area, giving it away yet again. If
you've just tuned in, we have lost our commentary, but lucky to have Stan Collymore in the studio as Slavia Prague push forward yet again. And Villa mop up the mess. Stan, is it time to bring on one of those players who've been resting 7 changes from the game against Ajax? Is this a job for Gareth Barry? It seems like he'd be the perfect player to hold the ball up.
Well, I don't think the problem has been for Villa in midfield. Like I say, the 3 we mentioned, Craig Gardner, Steve Sidwell, although they've been anonymous going forward, as opposed to Gardner, who did well in the first half. They've worked well for the team. Salifu's been the one that's been sitting, patrolling in front of the back 4. If there was any changes, maybe Nigel Reo-Coker for a Gardner or a Sidwell.
We talked at length at half-time about Guzan, who's just performed magnificently between the sticks for Aston Villa. A rare game, of course, Friedel, such a stalwart, but he's definitely one for the future. And that's a phrase that we use a lot with this Aston Villa club. Martin O'Neill trying to build some form of dynasty rather than a quick fix. 7 minutes left to go for Aston Villa to pick up another 3 points. Home to Ajax, away to the team who are top of the Czech League. That really is magnificent stuff. You can't underestimate that. It's almost as important as 5th in the Premier League in terms of a gauge of where this club is going.
You see there, Nicky Shorey doing ever so well. Just again, giving Villa a little bit of a breather. Just allowing the players, the central defenders, you can't underestimate in European football the pressure that they've been under in this second half. You see there, blowing quite heavily. They need to get further out of their own half.
Little cheeky tackle. It's all about digging in at this stage for Aston Villa, and I'm sure it's the same for the fans' fingernails digging into the sofa at home who've tuned in. 1,500 fans have travelled out to the new Eden Stadium, where Slavia have never been beaten in 7 games. There is the stereotypical time-wasting yellow card for Guzan, the Aston Villa goalkeeper. He'll be happy to pick that up because he's not likely to get a run of games to pick up a suspension, Stan.
I think Martin O'Neill will be delighted. I mean, they lost 2-0 against Newcastle, of course. And then they conceded 2 goals in the game before that. So if he manages to keep a clean sheet, gets those points, I think that, you see there, Brad Guzan getting a yellow card from the referee.
Fantastic stuff. Well, we can go back to our commentary team now. Hello again, Ray and Tony. Take us to the end of the game.
Well done, Colin. I was enjoying that. You should have stayed on to the final whistle, but we are back with you now. Apologies for the breaking commentary. Many of you doubtless say that you were better off not hearing us, but nothing has changed. You've been kept fully up to date with what has been going on here in Prague. A yellow card for Brad Guzan, the Aston Villa goalkeeper, as you've seen. There was a good chance as well for Netsid. We're now fully powered up, are Aston Villa, for these final 5 minutes or so.
And overall, you've got to say that Villa probably deserve it. The first half performance was particularly good. Maybe should have had more than the one goal going in at half time. Second half, they've been disciplined. The football hasn't been as good going forward, but certainly, top a good shield in front of the goalkeeper and restricted Slavia to one or two shots that they've had to go, headers from Netsid as well, but they haven't had too much, and maybe that's been the difference, the class between the two sides.
Here's Salafu trying to take advantage of the flick on then by Agbon Lahore. Ashley Young stood well again, well forward, itching to get on the score sheet. That's a first one going in with a deflection off John Carew. Carew's goal. Villa maybe heading to a second successive win in the group stages of the UEFA Cup. What a start it would be for Martin O'Neill's team. 2 games played, 6 points. Doesn't get any better than that. Still to play Zelina and also Hamburg, of course. Very, very strong group this one. Carew challenged there by the industrious Cherney. Cherney, who's done very well in the second half, but not well enough as far as the coach is concerned. Karel Yarolin. Team are disciplined and well organised, champions in the Czech Republic at the end of last season, frustrated that they didn't make the Champions League again this time around, losing out to Fiorentina of Italy. As we mentioned earlier in commentary, they have scored to make an impact in front of goal, just 1 in 4 games in Europe so far. Marek Yarolin, oh dear, given away. Here's Carew. Carew prepared to take on Tavares, and to get beyond Tavares. It's a corner.
That's better from John Carew. He knew exactly what he was trying to do. Run down the clock, just run it into the corner. Showed good strength to get past Tavares. Just hits it off him. Knew exactly what he had to do there. Got the corner, just relieved the pressure on the back line of Aston Villa.
Villa do want to bring on Gareth Barry, but they won't make that change just yet. They will take this corner kick. Shorty has left this one to Ashley Young. Who have caught the eye most this evening? Guzan, the goalkeeper, getting the good saves by the young American. That was Brad Friedel irritated not to be involved. Friedel, who's equalled the record number of consecutive appearances in the Premier League, did that on Monday against Newcastle United, and there will be a late run out here for Gareth Barry, replacing Gabi Agbon Lahore. Gareth Barry, who might have been playing in the Champions League if you believed all those summer newspaper stories, playing for Liverpool, but decided to stay with Aston Villa and scored the second goal against Ajax on match day 1. That was a great European night at Villa Park. Wonderful atmosphere, fantastic noise that the Villa supporters were able to make that night. 1,500 have come out here. That's well gathered too by Guzan. Might have just caught the in-running Netsid out the corner of his eye. He's worked hard up front for Slavia, hasn't he?
Well, he has, but I'll tell you what, the goalkeeper's impressed me tonight for Villa. He's made 2 or 3 outstanding saves, but he reads the game very, very quickly, and he's brave. Netsid's coming in there for a header. He's just focused on the ball, caught it, never looked at the striker at all. Very, very impressive tonight.
Nathan D'Alfonso, another one who is going to get a run out here. Cuellar with a cross. Here's Ashley Young. Never likely to trouble Vanyak with that.
He's actually picked up some wonderful positions out on that left-hand side, Ashley Young. That's what you want from your wide player, coming in, when the ball over from the opposite side, but just his finishing hasn't been as good as we've normally seen from him this season.
Stoppage time at the end of the second half. 3 extra minutes we're to have. Nathan D'Alfonso still wants to get on. Svento, chance here for Yarolin. It's been squared. Has it been squared 1 too many? It's Sidwell who's diving in there to ensure that Bele didn't get the shot away. Sui there grappling with Carew on the halfway line. It will be a free kick to Slavia Prague. John Carew, it's fair to say, doesn't agree with that decision. Martin O'Neill is now having words with the fourth official, frustrated that Villa haven't been able to make that substitution. Yaralin thought about the shot. Gap was suddenly closed. Slavia have been much brighter in this second half. Oh, terrific by Svenko.
That's great play from Svenko, it really was. Lovely little piece of magic down that left-hand side. Went past Gareth Barry like he was in there, but they just can't pick out that final pass to pick someone out.
Helped away this time by Shorey. Villa keeping their concentration and their discipline deep into second half stoppage time. On again by Belling. Tavares. Svento again towards Tavares. Hammered away by Barry. Villa with everybody back. Nathan Delfonso, the youngster, is itching to get on. The young striker, 17 back in February. Former England under-16 international. Played in the same team as Joseph Baxter of Everton, who's gone on to play in the Premier League and in Europe for Everton. Yaralin. Now Krajcik. Ashley Young. Held there by Czerny. Now Villa will be able to make that substitution. It's the goal scorer John Carew who's going off. Carew off to be replaced by Nathan Delfonso.
Question is, will he get a kick? I don't know how much time we've got left, but I think overall Martin will be happy enough with the performance. Go back to the first half, dominated that with a better team. Second half has been more of a rearguard action, but in truth, for all the possession that Slavia have had, I think that's where they've let themselves down. That final ball into the box, they just haven't created enough for the possession that they've had.
So John Carew has gone off. 5 goals in the Premier League, 2 now in the UEFA Cup. Carew, Villa's top scorer last season. Ashley Young. Here's Barry. He's trying to deflect the ball in the direction of Craig Gardner. Hammered forward by Svento. Sui. Yaralin almost losing out to Barry. The referee's had another look at his watch. Tavares. Svento. Oh, it's been deflected, but deflected into the grateful arms of Brad Guzan. A second UEFA Cup win in the group stages for Aston Villa. Martin O'Neill's team have done what they set out to do here in the Czech Republic. 2 games played, 2 wins. John Carew's goal, the difference between these two teams, following the shot from Steve Sidwell. Brad Guzan, the young American goalkeeper, doing well on his first appearance for Villa in Europe. They had plenty of opportunities, but they were on the back foot for much of the second half. But there have been rich pickings in the Garden of Eden. It's been a fruitful night for Aston Villa. It is Slavia Prague 0, Aston Villa 1.
A draw against the lesser fancied Zelina at home, and Aston Villa will be in the last 32 of the UEFA Cup. I wouldn't want to draw them. Reaction next. Slavia Prague are no longer unbeaten in their new stadium thanks to this little rub of the greens. Sidwell's shot off John Carew, and he's going to claim that. Wonderful stuff. Well, listen, there's been a changed Aston Villa side tonight, and Dave Beckett is caught up with 2 players who had a real point to prove tonight. Steve Sidwell, who would probably claim the goal, and the man between the sticks, Brad Guzan.
Brad, terrific game. It was pretty tight in the second half particularly.
Yeah, we knew coming in it was going to be difficult, especially going in at halftime with the lead. We knew the second half was going to be difficult, but I thought the boys did a great job in terms of holding our composure and defending as a unit.
We didn't know so much about you before tonight, but do you think you really proved your mettle and showed what you can do?
Just every opportunity you want to prove yourself to not only your teammates, coaching staff, everybody. It was a well played game by everybody. I thought our backs did a phenomenal job tonight.
And for you, Steve, how good does it feel to get 90 minutes under your belt?
Yeah, it's been a frustrating start for me personally, but now it's good to get playing and a great result tonight.
Does that give an indication of what Villa are really about this season, the fact that so many players have come in and you've still done so well?
Yeah, we've got a fantastic squad. Managers bought very shrewdly in the summer, and we're showing it on the pitch. That's what we need to do.
How important is this UEFA Cup campaign to you all?
Yeah, very important. We're not in it for a token gesture. We want to go all the way, and we proved that tonight, and the performance against Ajax.
You're in a great position in the group now, aren't you, to progress? You only need a draw in the next game, and you're definitely through.
Yeah, obviously we want to make sure we come out with the right mentality and try to get 3 points.
Well done, lads. Thank you very much.
Certainly hard to beat Aston Villa, Stan. In terms of bringing in those new boys, strength of squad, did they prove something tonight that they can go the whole season, they can compete on 2 or 3 or maybe even all 4 fronts?
That's absolutely did, and it was down the spine. You mentioned about Brad Guzan bringing in a goalkeeper. Sometimes it can backfire, and I thought he did well tonight. But my man of the match actually for Villa was Mustafa Salou, Togo international, hard-working defensive midfield player. He was excellent.
Lovely stuff. Well, listen, more analysis next, plus every goal from the cracker that was Man City FC 20. Stay with us. We'll be talking about changes for Aston Villa tonight. Martin Larsson got a rare night off, and it allowed Zat Knight, who got injured last year, to get back into the team and stake his claim. And it's been the back two that Pat's been looking at from pitch side. So let's go back to Pat. What's caught your eye in that second half? To pick defenders, Pat, was a good idea.
Well, I thought that immediately 1-0 up, you're going to have to defend. Brad Guzan said had to defend as a unit, and we've seen it right from the start of the second half. Very impressed with Curtis Davis and Zat Knight, working as a pair, communicating together constantly all the way throughout the half, but also great understanding right from the start. Look at that, definitely offside, great line, well done you two. And considering this is only their third start together, now how about this for a line and a defence that understand each other? Dead straight, in a line, offside again. And technically they were good as well. This time it's Davis. Now he wants to go out and cover in front, but he can't go too far until the two forwards are marked. The ball changes over the other side. Now Quaylar here, he wants to go out to the right hand side and cover that area to the right hand side. Can't go until he communicates. Over comes that Knight. He can go into that area, kill the space. When the ball's played in, there's no space for him to run into. All night they did that. But if you're two strikers playing up, the last thing you want is the players to stick beside you like a rash. Look at this marking from these two. They did this all night, and it infuriated the Slavia Prague forwards all night. Really, really tough for them because those two work together well. Only downside, back post, Davis beaten in the air. I get the feeling that Martin Larsson probably wouldn't have missed that one, but Neil will be very happy with them.
Lovely, thank you very much to Pat. Aston Villa, hard to beat it seems at the moment, but if you were going to Eastlands as a Man City fan and you were paying per goal, then it's probably cheap at half the price. Here's what's happened tonight against FC 20. What a game. We'll talk you through all the goals. A mistake by the left back Braffy to give the ball away to Fernandez and Sean Wright-Phillips. 1-2 with Joe, and Wright-Phillips scores a goal. 1-0 early on then to Man City. But if you're a fan, then you know exactly what's going to happen. Good start, 1-0 up. Bosker in nets. McLaren back in England to brush up on his accent. And this makes happier viewing for him. Elliott picks up a clearing header, goes it alone. What a goal. Joe Hart, no chance in the City goal. 1 each. But we're not done yet. That's half time. Let's take it into the second half. Stephen Ireland plays in Rubinho. Deft touch, beautiful. Beautiful goal, curls it straight into the top right hand corner. Bosker doesn't have a chance. 2-1. You can watch that all night, couldn't you? I worried Steve McLaren. He knows what it's like to get thumped by English opposition this year. It threatened to be a landslide again. Wright-Phillips plays in Benjani. That's his first start of the season. He came on for Joe. Deflected shot, they all count, as Villa learned tonight. Finds the bottom right. 3-1, no problems, plain sailing, party time at Eastlands. Of course, that's not the case. Not with Man City. 2 minutes later, Hershey's corner's headed home by Villart, the FC20 skipper. That made it 3-2, but no more goals and a win for Man City. So good news for Mark Hughes' side. Stan, that's 2 wins, so we'll take a look at where Man City stand at the moment in their UEFA Cup group, and we'll see exactly what that means. Top 3 go through. It's all quite complicated. Just worry about where your team is. No real threats there as far as I'm concerned. Racing Santander drew with Schalke tonight. That's good as well. Man City's situation here is, are they going to win the group or not?
That's a really good result for Manchester City, because 20 are riding high. McLaren's getting some of his kudos back in the coaching world, and I think that they might well qualify as well. So City, yeah, they'll go through.
The top 2 clash next in 3 weeks, live and 5 at 5:55. Let's take a look at the Aston Villa group now, and that's wonderful stuff. Their fans, bar the big 4 in the league. What a season.
Absolutely. The top 3 there will go through. Villa, of course, have got Zelina at home. I'd imagine again changes to be made before the big game in Hamburg against Martin Jol's at Hamburg side. They were top of the league a couple of weeks ago. I think they're 5th now in the Bundesliga.
Very impressive, and winning the group is very important as well for Villa. They need to go and get that result, because they don't want to have to play one of the teams that come down from the Champions League, because if they get into the last 16, Stan, and they get drawn against a team where the second leg is at Villa Park, we've been there in the touchline, you don't want to go there.
Absolutely. I think that for Villa tonight, the players that have come in, that's a real bonus for Martin O'Neill. Like I say, Hamburg, the draw has been quite kind. They've had Ajax at home, a team that they're beat and were very beatable on the night. You didn't want to be going to Hamburg in the last game having to scratch around for points. So Zelina next, and then obviously the big one at Hamburg.
Absolutely, and I think it's worth this pointing out to you right now that the next time we're going to be here in 5 is in 3 weeks' time. I'm going to say something that hasn't been said since John Logie Bird invented television. AC Milan go to Fratton Park. As for Villa tonight, you've had a lot to endure. A competitive first half, a competitive second half, and you had to listen to me do commentary. I do apologise. You've earned your 3 points. Good night, everyone. We'll see you in 3 weeks.